I'm bored of waiting. I just... I don't want to wait for like 8 minutes. So you know what? Let's jump right into behind the scenes. 1 second here. I will jump right in here. Where did I put that? There it is. There we go. Okay, so obviously it's time for behind the scenes. So today, I don't think it'll be necessary to break this behind the scenes up into like 3 different parts, like I did with Season 2. Because Season 2's behind the scenes were like super long, and this just isn't that long. Now, the first thing we gotta talk about is obviously animation. So, I must be honest, I don't really like... I kind of like this animation, but also there are so many parts where I really just don't like the animation. And believe it or not, I spent like way more time, or it feels like I spent way more time on this than I usually spend on like any animation. I spent like 3 weeks on this, which is like 50% more than usual. Like 50% more time than what is usual. But the real like... how do I explain it? It's just like... I feel like for the extra amount of time I put into it, it just doesn't seem to be that great. I mean, it's like fine, but I put in like... It feels like I put in way more work than usual. Now maybe that's just because it's been so long, because of all the stuff that happened, and all that kind of thing. Excuse me. Yeesh. But it feels like I worked much harder than usual on this. But honestly, the quality seems to be relatively the same, to be quite frank. I will say it is an improvement. It is definitely an improvement. Actually, I did not really think about that, I suppose. I forgot how bad the last animation was. So I guess this is more of what I would call acceptable quality. But it just needs to get better. Like, it needs to get better. I'm not satisfied with where this is right now. But, you know what? It's gonna get better. It's okay. It's fine. And now, let's actually, like, take control of this here and look at different parts. So, at the start, things weren't really too crazy, you know, it's just, like, some scenic shots. I wanted to make... Yeah, you see how fast those clouds are moving? I wanted to make it feel like the wind was going by really fast. Okay, so here's where the first animation dilemma came in. I could not get the piano rig. I could not get the piano rig to work right. I just could not import the textures correctly for the model. It just kind of broke the model. So I just took Keano's skin and put it in, because, I mean, that's a pretty good second. And the only real disadvantage that had was, A, Keano's hood isn't, like, movable without it moving his hair. And B, the hair isn't, like, a cool animated hair. So that's why I, like, shook his hood and hair around. It's, a pretty terrible substitute. But, to be quite frank, I feel like movable hair is just, like, overrated. I don't know. There are some things I really just prefer older Minecraft style animation. Like, I prefer to not have, like, fingers on Minecraft characters, and I don't know. I feel like there's a point when it just gets too realistic and not Minecrafty enough. Anyways, that was pretty much my first problem. And we got some more scenic shots, yada yada. Pretty kind of nice. Okay, this shot. So there was a lot of thinking, believe it or not, that went into that shot. I wanted my character to stab his sword into the ground and be like trying to look forward through like a bunch of snow. Only problem is I don't know how to do that. And also, I didn't notice this until now, but actually that's the wrong way. The wind is coming from behind him, that wouldn't make any sense. But whatever. So instead, I opted for the much less cool explosion of particles that were going to pretend to snow. That arm movement was too fast. All in all, that wasn't the best shot, but it wasn't too bad. Here we go, dialogue. So yes, Sam, we don't have to do this. Just hand over the emblem and nobody has to get hurt. Do you see how rushed this is? This is the fastest back and forth I have ever seen in my entire freaking life. Okay, maybe that's not true, but it is so fast. It's unbelievable. We just went through, like, what, 3 different back and forth lines of dialogue? And while it's possible to talk that fast, you think anyone's gonna mentally process this, like, in an actual conversation? Like, slow the frick down. Essentially, this is just me trying to keep up with the song's pace while keeping in the dialogue. So it resulted in this being way too rushed. I kind of like the dialogue, but it could have been improved on as well. Also, Keanu just kind of, he's just like, no. I just say, like, no, I'm not going to give you the emblem. And he's like, well, screw it, I'm just going to kill you now. Well, actually, he apparently aimed for my leg. I guess he's trying to capture me or something. I don't know what the frick he's doing. Listen, man, it just looked cool. That looked sick. Okay, so I gotta talk about this. Oh, wait, no, we didn't go far back enough. So now we get to this scene. So if you didn't notice, that was 3 different frames where, essentially the, well, what was it called? I don't know. But, essentially the whole thing, like, the camera goes into, like, 3 different little clips where, like, it has, like, different lighting and such. Essentially, it's meant to, like, look like the screen's glitching out, and I absolutely loved that. And it still looks pretty good, except I don't know why, but it doesn't appear to have caught it all, which is sad. But anyways, yeah, I love that. I absolutely love it. Also, if we, like, go back and listen to this, like, yeah, is it just me, or does that really look epic? Like, I'll be honest, the dialogue for the first part kind of sucked. I mean, it wasn't the dialogue, it was the speed. And also, I don't know, I'm having a lot of trouble because these things are supposed to happen, but I'm having a little bit of trouble, like, getting the script to be more realistic here. At this point, I'm just happy that this is over, because I can finally move on to some other projects, and then eventually to the the Season 2 story bridge. That's where I can actually, like, focus on, like, a little bit less intense animating. And also, I can focus more on advancing the story plot instead of just sending in mindless fight after mindless fight. Except these fights, they aren't mindless. It's just that I'm having real trouble making them not mindless. Anyways, we got the emblem. Haven't seen that since Hypnotized. Oh, man, that was bad animation, bro. Also, we got my Face Rig V3. It's got a mouth. It's also got pupils. If you look here, you can see the mouth somewhere. Well, if you look really closely, you can see my mouth. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. Anyways, here, first clash. This sucks. I don't know how to freaking do... I don't know how to do those kind of punches things. It's so hard for me to... Oh. Premiere's starting. 1 second. Shut up. Okay, well, we got T minus 5 minutes, so I better hurry the frick up. Anyways, as I was saying before that... so yeah, I don't know. This was a bad... I just don't know how to, like, really make punches look very good, except when I do. But I don't know how to, like, overkill a punch. Like, I feel like I'm unusually good at animating, like, a realistic punch and such. a lot of times, sometimes. I don't know. That seemed to be a lot more of my strength. When in, like, Sam vs. Kitty, when I actually, like, used karate stances and such for... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I just got distracted, but I cannot go off and start yapping about that right now. Anyways, so then, after this goofy punch, my character does this. Listen, man, it was just the first realistic thing I felt that I would do that came to mind. Like, oh, cool, shockwave punch. Psych, I'm gonna kick you. I mean, it works, I suppose. Kind of. And I teleport, yada yada. I'm actually kind of happy with that sequence. This one's okay. This one doesn't look really good until you do this. I actually really like that part right there. But honestly, it could be better. Also, that's not supposed to be happening. There's me. Listen, man, I just felt like dabbing and saying GG would be funny as frick. And then, oh no, Keanu, he's not playing anymore. Oh! Freeze. Right here, the mouth. Notice something weird? It looks like a frickin' duck face. I don't know why, but that reminds me of a duck. If I go with... There's no, like, mouth. It's just the face. It's just, like, skin in between the two teeth. But, you see, I had a problem. For a little while, I didn't know how to make the black part of the mouth, like the inside of it, smaller or larger, and I figured that out later on in the animation, so it doesn't look like he's a freaking duck. It doesn't look like a duck after this. This is the only scene where Keanu lets out his inner duck. Oh, no. Yeah, that's... Actually, to be honest, this is, like, way less destruction than what should have happened. I just didn't really think of it. And, yep. How convenient. The spike is, like, right on the edge of it. It's almost like a planned that. And... no, you lost the... So far, I don't really have any critiques on this so far. Oh. Flipping through my freaking head. How dare you, I'm mad at you. Oh, yeah! Aura farming. Yeah! That looks nice. I basically just used a VFX for that little eye thingy. Here we go. I just used VFX for that little thingy. Not the best, but I kind of liked it. Oh, yes. And Keanu's like, screw it, I'm gonna spawn like 12 clones. You're gonna die. There's nothing you can do. Yeah, kill him. Oh, wait. Wait. Okay, so after the first part, I was like, screw making the dialogue inside of the actual animation. I hate doing that. And I was like, let's use the editor. So that's why all the dialogue looks 10 times cooler and is way better placed. I also like that the dialogue, there's just like no dialogue, hardly at all, in the second part. It's like, screw it, talking's over, we're gonna fight, and you're getting your rear kicks. Also, mouth! Mouth! Look. He's got a mouth! Awesome! The mouth actually kind of worked, except it kind of, if you look at it too closely, it looks bad. But I don't care, it looks nice. It looks nice at first glance. Oh, this! Oh, man. Oh, man, I love this effect. So, how I did this, I put, like, a white cylinder inside of a purple cylinder. And the purple cylinder has 50% opacity. I made sure to pre-render this in its own little section. All of these are actually different sections pieced together, which is where our next error is going to come from. But anyways, yeah, putting those two cylinders together, it just makes this beautiful effect. Beautiful. I absolutely adore this effect. Yeah, that right there. That was the error in the noise. Because I rendered a bunch of different sequences, some of the I'm surprised that this is the only time the music overlapped. I didn't fix it. I should have fixed it, but whatever. Ah, energy spikes. Yep, they're all getting stabbed now. I tried to add in a bunch of little I tried to add in a bunch of details to this sequence. Like, you see this guy, he only gets slashed by the spike and he just dies. He falls over. This guy pretty much dies normally. This guy takes a lot longer to die. And then, yeah, I use the shields as little cutting board things. I don't know. So yeah, I kind of feel bad for Keanu's clones. If I had wanted to, this could have been the most gory scene I have ever animated. Ever. Like, this would have been quite the potential. This had quite the potential to be a massive shock value scene. But to be honest, that was too much work, and I'm too lazy. But also, I don't think I can even do that kind of level of gore justice. That sequence looks kind of bad. Then here, this could have been way better, but it doesn't look that great. Still doesn't look that great. Too long of a pause. Throw isn't satisfying. That kind of looks cool. It's like still blowing. Too long of a pause again. Too long of a pause. Mostly it's just the timing, and the attacks are either not over the top enough, or they're just it's just issues with timing and attacks not feeling hard enough. And then we got this cool scene. Use the same effect with the cone. And then we got this. Nice big explosion. So all in all, that's pretty much everything for the animation. So that's animation. Now let's talk about power scaling. Let's mute this thing. So, for power scaling, I simply pretty much directed myself to post-Keanu made a little while ago. Essentially, it laid out a whole bunch of phases that he had. And essentially, I feel, I don't know. Okay. Simply enough, if it's my, if your character's in, like, my universe, I'm probably going to take a handful of liberties with it. I don't know how many liberties I really took with Keanu's rig, because, to be honest, I don't think that Keanu did much power scaling here on his rig. But according to my power scaling, Keanu has several phases. A base, like like phase 1, obviously, just like normal purple eyes. Phase 2, the lowest phase you see here is phase 2, which he opens up with. That already is pretty tough. On top of his like normal abilities and all that stuff. But whatever, we're not here to talk about phase 2. We're here to talk about his max phase, which is what he's using the whole entire time. Okay, so basically, how I got this whole, like, stat, or, like, how I got the stats for this fight are pretty interesting. I took, like, every phase, added, like, one more, like, stat level on each one, like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like 3 levels of different levels, like 3, how do I say this? So essentially for phase 1, he's obviously got like level 1 stats, same for phase 2, well, not same for phase 2, it like upgrades to like, you know, phase 1, level 1 stats, phase 2, level 2 stats, phase 3, level 3 stats, and then you have the interesting part, because phase 4, well, that thing, the Keanu has, like, double power in phase 4, but also, like, and also is, like, immune to pain and such. That was interesting. But then also, it has a debuff, obviously, but I was interested in the double power. So I decided instead, you know what, let's just take, instead of increasing the stats to level 4, let's make them level 8, just for funsies. So yeah, it was a pretty big jump. And then we had a phase, brain fart. Then you have phase 5, which you don't see here. You only see phase 6. But anyways, phase 5, I just gave him like level 9 stats. So here, he's in like phase 6, so he should have level 10 stats on everything. But then you have the real hard hitters. You have cloning, and Keanu's cloning is overpowered, okay? He can clone himself, like, not just make, like, mindless clones, like, original. They are, like, their own people, basically. Essentially, he can create as many versions of himself as he wants. It's kind of insanely overpowered. And used correctly, it means he's basically immortal. But anyways, well, what is even more insane is the 50 times shockwave punch. Now, I don't think Keanu really realizes this, but that's a lot of power behind a punch. And that's especially a lot of power for my universe. Because that puts his full shockwave punch power at a level of 500. For comparison, anything in the level 1 is just like normal human scale, except like stronger. And then you got the level 10s, and this is like my universe's power scaling. You got like the level 10s, which are like building scale. And then you got the level 100s, which are city scale. So for comparison, he's punching on the level of a pretty significantly sized city. So every single one of those punches ought to have the power to destroy an entire freaking city. Like, I don't know, cities in this, like, in my, like, world here, they aren't that big. They're kind of small. But that'd be large enough to, like, destroy a huge portion of the area in between these two mountains. Like, a massive amount of the area. Like, take, like, what happened in the actual animation, and, like, take the damage that crater was, like, take the crater size, and then multiply it times, like, 20. Then you have an idea of what the damage actually should have been. That's why I was, like, so unhappy with the amount of damage I ended up, like, incorporating in, because it should have been way bigger. For comparison, this stroke should have killed anyone normally. I'll be honest, the whole reason why my character even wins is because of this emblem. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But for now, yeah, essentially this definitely solidifies Keanu as an insane threat. I said before, Keanu is stronger than my character in base form. Like, not in base form. Keanu is stronger than my character. Like, if we don't have any tricks up my sleeve, which this is my character using tricks up his sleeve, it's the emblem, so. But if we were just talking about normal me, like phase 6, everything, like I'm using like no holds bar, he is still stronger. Like, on a huge level. Like, even if I use all my power, my punches will be like, what, like, 1/16 of his strength? Like, it would be, I mean, honestly, it's like not too improbable that I might win, but to be honest, Keanu has a huge advantage. The only thing that really is going for me in that kind of fight is my experience. My character's experience, considering my character's over 1,000 years of combat experience. And by now, he's remembered all that. His little deja vu from originally waking up and stuff. It's gone now. Like, he remembers everything. Or almost everything. I think after this duel is when he remembers everything. I brain farted, okay? I forgot the plot of my own story. Anyways, we aren't done, though. We gotta yap about my character's power scaling. So, emblem. I'll talk more about that later. So, essentially, basically, this whole fight hinges on me using my emblem. By using, so essentially I divided up the current emblem phase you're looking at. The emblems essentially work differently in my universe from probably the only other person who's used these. And the person I got the idea from was Lil Daydreamer. So I took the concept of emblems and I expanded on them massively. I, changed them up. So essentially what he's using right now in this first fight, that's the first emblem form. Essentially, it's just like your emblem is hovering around you or something is the idea, and you're drawing energy off of it. This is my level 2 form. So, like, you can do 3 different phases of this. The first phase gives you, like, level 1, or in Normal people would get like level 1, but my emblem grants me like level 3 stats with that. So actually, I'm using like phase 2 in the first half of the fight. So I've got 30 level stats on everything. So I'm 3 times stronger, faster, and have like 3 times more stamina. Not to mention all the other ridiculous stats. So honestly, the shockwave punch is really the only thing that could have saved Keanu, because I am at that point like so much more powerful that it's really hard. Like, it's hard to beat, like really hard to beat someone who's 3 times faster than you. It's one thing if it's 2 times, but 3 times is like where it becomes improbable that you're gonna win. Like, this odds were very unstacked. We're like very stacked against Keanu in that fight, in the first half, anyways. But you know what? I dabbed and he hit me with that shockwave tap, so I got cooked. But there's another like little thing here. When you're using an emblem, at least in this universe, in my universe, like you can't get killed. Like you can't get damaged. Someone has to like damage you enough that you like lose your connection to the emblem. But you yourself, your body doesn't really take damage. Damage? What the heck? I like said damage instead of damage. But you don't take damage. Your body doesn't. You don't even feel like pain and stuff. But if someone hits you hard enough and enough times, it could like destroy. It could like break your connection. That's what happened there. My connection broke. He didn't actually damage me or anything, but he broke my connection. So yeah, he managed to like get me down for a bit, and then I like immediately pulled my emblem back to me. Another thing I expanded on, at least in Little Daydreamers universe and such, I don't think you can actually like pull emblems back to yourself. Sometimes I don't know. I made certain mechanics like absolutely certain for this. So for one thing, my emblem I can just teleport it back to me. Like I can keep you from using it. It's like bound to me. It's not just some object that's like usable by anyone. I can like just like it's just bound to me. Unless I die, like you cannot use it if I don't want you to. That's like that's kind of one thing that works about that. And so I can also call it back to me. It's also indestructible. All emblems in this universe, except for like one, are indestructible. And I'll talk about that more later, probably. But anyways, I'm getting kind of off track. That's how I like pulled my emblem away from piano. Now, let's yap about my second half of the fight, power scaling. So, if you noticed, my eyes changed, and that means, so, full eyes, like full purple eyes, that means, or like just any emblem user using full eyes, that's their, like, max phase, like, that's phase 3. And that's the full power for any of the emblem forms. So, from there, I'm having 300 levels. Like, I have 300 tier speed, 300 tier strength, 300 of everything. That's a lot of power. And it's not as much as Keanu's shockwave punches. But, to be frank, Keanu's durability really can't keep up in this universe with his shockwave punches. So, he's really kind of cooked if he gets hit with the same level, like, nearly the same level of power too many times. That's why he, like, immediately starts losing limbs after I start hitting him. His durability isn't built to withstand that very well, at least in this universe. I doubt Keanu really thinks about that much. But I am a nerd, and I overthink everything. I feel like it's the way I like to overthink fights. On one hand, I want to make them feel cool, but I also don't want to make them feel completely ridiculous. So I want to have a significant element of realism to every fight. That's why I am a massive power scaler. Anyways. So yeah, I kind of just like wipe out the clones here. Realistically, something different probably should have happened. But anyways, it wouldn't really matter. Because we gotta talk about another thing that would have made this fight even easier for me to win if I had used it. Teleporting. Keanu doesn't have it, pretty sure. Me? Well, in my universe, teleporting is a core mechanic of every, or at least in my universe in this particular world, in like Animania. It's like, you are made, or a lot of times, it is a make or break, depending on your teleporting level. And my character has an insane teleporting level. Like, it ranges from 30 in the first half to 300 in the second half. For instance, essentially, once you reach like level 4 teleporting or level 5, it just becomes who has the higher teleporting level, and that person's gonna eventually win. But like, to anyone, like even if you once you get like level 4 teleporting, it's just impossible to defeat your opponent if they're really trying. So realistically, if I had used this, I could have just started teleporting so fast that I could have just instantly killed the Kano pretty much. I didn't use that. It is broken as frick, and it wouldn't have been a good animation thing, and I didn't think about it either, because I'm stupid. But anyways, that is just like the nail in the coffin. My teleporting level really is just what like completely ends this fight. This would have been a little bit more interesting had I not used an emblem, but the plot required me to right now, so I'm gonna... Yeah, I used it. Now we get to finally move off of power scaling and onto the lore. So, what was there to talk about? I mean, we get introduced to the emblems again, and we actually know what they are. Like, they're officially emblems, guys. Don't call me a freaking copycat, okay, please? I'm trying to expand on this principle, and I feel like it was... I don't know, listen, I'm taking inspiration and building, like, my own little... universe off of this concept. I'm not just like copying it. I want to like make a different, unique universe, something that like kind of looks. I don't know. I just like thought, what if a whole bunch of people like created this little animating universe? Like I don't know, you go in with like VR and such, and you can like do your own. You can like make animations way easier, and you can like fight and do all these kind of cool things. I was like, well, yeah, and what if the emblems were like the building blocks for that? They were like kind of the stabilizers. So yeah, this emblem is one of many emblems. And I will say another thing: every single emblem that is shown in the Little Daydreamer series, like Ethan Animaze's, like all of those animators emblems. I'm not talking about like ideas. I'm talking about the official ones. All of the like official ones, they are emblems in this universe as well, and they're in the same hands as they are in the Emblem Saga. The idea is what if I took the Emblem Saga and like made it a freaking universe with like I don't know, a bunch of twists, but then also it's like my own story as well. It's not just like a spin-off. I just kind of like decided, hey, that's a cool idea. Let's incorporate it into my universe. So we did, and I hope no one minds, because I feel like this. I don't know. This right now is not that great, but it has a lot, and I mean a lot of potential. I really wish I just had the skill to truly realize that potential, but because I really haven't realized that potential ever. And it's because I'm so new to animating stuff. Actually, I'm not really that new. I've been doing it for over a year now. But it's just that I really don't... I'm not that... I don't know. I just really spend my time doing a lot of other things. And it didn't really help that I have a whole bunch of stuff, non-animation related content going on right now. But whatever. Enough yapping about that. So we got the emblems, all that stuff. One thing I will talk about. In the original series, I don't know if Little Daydreamer has an emblem. Oh, wait, that brings me to another thing. It is not intentional by any means that this emblem looks like the Delta thing from Little Daydreamer's channel. I am really hoping that was not supposed to be Little Daydreamer's emblem or something. I was gonna, make one, I was gonna make a specific design for... I figured that, hey, Little Daydreamer, in this universe... basically, I don't even know. I don't want to reveal anything that's gonna be told in, the story bridge prologue and such. But anyways, I will say in this universe, Little Daydreamer has her own emblem. And I will say another thing, it is equal in power to mine. It is on the same power level as my emblem. So that means if we were to fight, we basically have the same power levels and such. Quite interesting, huh? But anyways, anyway, it's not intentional that mine is like a triangle, like the Delta Triangle and such. This thing, I just thought it looked cool. I thought, hey, that's in it. What if I made a shape like this? Because I don't know, I liked it. And then, Little Daydreamer comes out with, Delta, And I'm just like, that's not good. That's not good. No. What happened to originality? Oh, no. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, I think that might be it about the lore significance, pretty much. One thing I will say is Keanu is not dead. No, of course he's not dead. You really think that Keanu would be stupid enough to come in here without cloning himself, like, before the mission? He's just got a clone out there. I just haven't shown it or anything. I forgot to animate it, the part where he's just, like, he's looking superiorly over me from, like, the mountains, and he leaves. Well, whatever. If you watch this video, you'll know that he's still alive, okay? He's still alive. I can't kill him off like that. It's unrealistic, to be quite frank. You've got a cloning ability. You ain't gonna risk your life by, like, coming in here and, like, not, like, I don't know, you're not gonna risk yourself like that, okay? It'd be stupid. Straight up stupid. And Keanu, at least in this universe, is not straight up stupid. He's significantly smart. It was nothing for him to attempt to attack an emblem user. Powerful as he is nothing in comparison to, like, a full power, like, an emblem user using their full power. Nothing. Like, he's just, like, one of many people. Like, there are only, I mean, many, not really many. Most, like, normal animators in this universe cannot compete with an emblem wielder. It's just unfair. Because emblems just grant a ridiculous amount of power in this universe. Like, if you thought, like, the amount of power shown in, like, Little Daydreamers series was powerful, it's nothing compared to, like, the amount of power that, like these emblems, like, that it's gonna be, like, shown here. Like, there's a lot of power in these emblems, at least in this universe. At least I'm hoping that I'll be able to show all that. But anyways, essentially, I really like to, like, power scale and stuff. These emblems are really, they've got a lot of potential. This is, like, the tip of the iceberg potential. Tip of the iceberg potential. And it's on, like, city destroying potential. And that's just, like, the tip of the iceberg. Anyways, that's all I got for now. I really hope you enjoyed this whole, like... Oh, my word, it's been 40 freaking minutes. Oh, man, I hope you enjoyed this almost 40-minute long ramble about lore and all that kind of stuff. And I will see you in another video. Later, nerds.